Hello, my dear friend. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here today. We're going to address a question that I received in the community area of my YouTube channel, where I often like to ask you guys questions and get feedback. One of you asked me, how did you come to make a decision, and how did you find the courage to make a decision to sort of choose a different route in life, to choose a unique path of your own making, your own unique unfolding, which included being homeschooled, not attending a college, becoming an artist, becoming a published author, a YouTuber, and a creative in general? How did I navigate making those decisions and do it in a way that was nourishing and courageous and a way that fed my soul? How did I overcome hurdles that may have prevented me from taking that course and nudged me more into taking the road well traveled, right? So I wanted to address that. I think it's a very good question, and I'm not going to lay out, here's the reasons why you should do this and here's the reasons why you shouldn't do that, because no one can tell you what you should do. Your own spirit has to be your guide. So I'm just going to share my own story a little bit here, and then we'll discuss how you can tap into your own spirit and listen to your own soul when it comes to these important life decisions, that we don't want the decision to be born solely from this place of feeling pressured and stressed and like you need to follow the person in front of you. So let's dive into it. I have my cup of coffee. I was raised by two artists. My father traveled across the country in a van when he was, I think, 19 years old. My mom has always been a very spiritually seeking person. Both of my parents were artists who attended arts and crafts shows to sell their work, and that's how they met. Years down the road, when I came along, they decided to homeschool both my sister and I, and that was our upbringing. My parents were very mindful with how they raised my sister and I, mainly directing us and encouraging us to spend a lot of time out in nature, studying nature, and tapping into our own spirits, our own connection with the earth, with people around us, and understanding that loving, grounding connection that centers us. Those years are important. Those years of first processing and trying to gain your footing literally on this earth. It's important. And I feel deeply that being connected to nature is a huge part of that. And that's why, honestly, it breaks my heart to see so many kids nowadays in front of screens at such an early age and not going outside as much as they used to. And you all know I'm a big champion for getting away from screens, and I have tons of videos about that. I'll link a few of them excuse me, down in the description below if you want to check them out, because I think it's important for us to disconnect as much as possible. How many of our decisions that we're making are being influenced by social media and influencers? I mean, let's just think about the word influencer. These are mostly corporations paying for sponsorships for influencers to influence you to do a certain thing to help their bottom line. So we have to understand that from products they want you to buy, from schools they want you to attend, to jobs that they want you to have and work for them in, it's all being influenced by corporations. It's being influenced by the rhythms of capitalism. That's just a fact on a financial basis. You have that groundwork. So that is coming into play with every single decision that you may or may not be making you might be making a decision for yourself from your own critical thinking, or you might be being influenced heavily by billionaires who want to make these decisions for you, or at least heavily influence you and pressure you into making decisions that maybe it's not from your spirit. Maybe you don't know if you want to make that decision. Am I bashing all businesses here? Of course not. But I do think it's something we need to be aware of. Not all advertisements are bad. I'm not saying that advertisements are bad or business is bad, but we have to be mindful, don't we, in today's world? We're bombarded with ads and social media and influencers telling us how we should feel, what we should think, what we should do, how we should behave, what school we should go to, what job we should have. Maybe it's time for us to disconnect and step back and root within ourselves and make these decisions from a place of centered peace. And you have the flip side of that coin. Today, more than ever, because of technology and because of where things are going, technology is not at all bad. There's a lot of good things that have come about from technology, such as many of the gatekeepers, so to speak, have left their gates. There are more opportunities open to more people now than ever before, and that's a wonderful thing. So we don't necessarily have to take a path that someone in front of us took, whether that someone is a parent or a grandparent or a mentor or someone on social media. We can often set value on things simply because the market tells us we should value them. Why? Because that person's making X amount of money per year, or they have this title. Why do we set value on those things specifically? Because we have a standard for what success is. However, I think it's important for us to examine what our definition of success is. Because every single one of you watching right now, you personally have your own definition, whether you acknowledge it or not, of what you think the concept of success is. What that looks like. Like, just think of that word for a minute, successful. What sort of images are coming to your mind? Most likely those images are influenced by your culture, what country you are in or that you were brought up in, what sort of websites or social media or lack thereof you spent time with, who you spent time talking to, what your family's definition of success is. All these things are imprinted on our minds and we carry them with us throughout our lives unless we eventually call it into question. And I think that's a really healthy exercise. And there are things that I am still trying to sort out for myself, because the residue from things you've seen online and in movies of like, this is success, this is the pinnacle of success, this person has the, money machine spraying money and, it's raining money and they have this great corporate job and that's successful, or they have all these degrees and that's successful. Why? You know what I mean? Why? I have known so many people personally. Very recently, in fact, I was talking with a young woman who was talking to me about the degree she went for and how she ended up taking a completely different route with her life, and how she felt like, I wish I had known some of these things sooner, of what I really wanted to do, what really made my heart hum. And I think what we have to acknowledge is that we have more opportunity, more paths open to us now more than ever, and more obligation, really kind of a sacred obligation, an invitation to connect with who we truly are and express who we truly are, and not feel like we just have to follow the heavily trodden path of what's come before. Some of the most groundbreaking discoveries, the most compelling art that's ever been created was created by artists of life who diverged from the heavily trodden path and did something different. So am I telling you shouldn't go to college? Am I telling you should do, you should break away and become an artist and live in a van? I'm not telling you anything because I can't tell you what you should do. Only your own spirit can identify that. And what I want to address here, and I hope I'm getting this across and not just rambling too much. I get passionate about this. But what I hope I'm getting across is that you need to tap into your own soul. And you need to really listen to what your needs are. And really think about, am I making this decision from a place of feeling pressured by an external force? Whether it is family, relations, friends, influencers, social media platforms, billion-dollar corporations who are trying to sell you something. Try to become aware. Try to pull back and become aware. It's so hard. It's so hard in today's world to do that, because it's not in many corporations who are running a lot of things right now. It's not in their vested interest that you become aware of the fact that you may not need what they're trying to sell. And I mean that in a completely neutral, honest way. I'm not calling out anyone particularly and saying anyone is bad or trying to do something wrong, but we need to become aware that a lot of this has to do with money and what we're being sold on a daily basis, online and through other outlets. A lot of the pressure we receive, whether it's about products we should buy or schools we should go to or jobs we should have, it has to do with someone else's bottom line. So we can still do those things. We can still go, if you want to go to school and do something, or you want a certain job, or you want a certain level of income, that's fine. It's completely neutral. But I think it's important to be aware of, okay, this is my path. This is why I'm choosing this. Rather than just going down this path because the current is so strong. And that instinct to just swim along with the rest is there. Sometimes the hardest thing in the world can be to step back, to pull back, and to, is this me? Is this truly me? Does this truly fuel my heart's song? A dear family friend once told me many years ago, when I was a child actually, a story about he was about to graduate from college and he had taken an internship doing something, and every morning he would drive to this internship, and he absolutely despised doing this internship, and this sort of work he was engaged in was the work that he was being trained for in school, and he was days away from graduating, or weeks, something like that, very close to graduation. And he pulled over on the side of the road on the way to his internship and was just crying because he hated what he was doing, and he wasn't sure why he was doing this, because he had felt so much pressure from his parents and from his friends to go down this path, but it wasn't what he felt in his heart he should be doing. And he ended up dropping out, leaving school, not graduating, because he felt it went so against what everything inside him wanted to do with his life, that he thought, you know what, I have to take a different road. I have to rebel against this instinct, this pull to just conform with this path. I have to do something different. So I want to clarify, because I'm certainly not saying that if you go to school you're a conformist, or if you choose a certain job you're a conformist. I think all those words are subjective, and we should only use them if they're helpful to us to understand, if they aid us in moving forward. I don't think we should label anyone anything, but I think we should recognize actions that are either helpful to us, that are bringing us closer to our true manifestation, or taking us further away. I think we can identify actions and behaviors in ourselves and see, I was doing this recently with myself. I was looking at something I was doing, something that I wanted, a vision that I had for, I would like to do this within the next few years. I would really want this thing. And a few days ago, I took a few moments, I pulled back. I just felt my inner voice, my inner guide say to me, why? Why do you want that? Why do you want that thing so badly? And I had to truly dig down, and it was hard, and realize I want that thing because I have seen other people do that. And I would like to do that because I've seen it. And there's this lifestyle attached to it, and I would like to have that. I would like to not only have that thing, have that physical item, but I want to have that happiness that I see when I see people posting about it. And then I realized that's not what brings happiness. I already have everything I need for happiness. I already have everything I need for success. Right here, right now, if I did nothing else with my life, I would still be a success, because success is subjective. And we shouldn't even be valuing and evaluating ourselves based on this scale of unsuccessful to successful, because now suddenly we've made ourselves commodities. We've bumped ourselves down from sacred humanity to the level that we judge products and other things on. We've reviewed ourselves. We're deciding how many stars we should give our lives and whether or not we'd recommend it to others. We need to stop. Oh, we need to stop. We need to realize we are sacred, we are loved, we are divine, and we are here for such purpose. We are steeped in purpose and meaning. And regardless of which path we take in life, we are successful already from go. And we don't, because of that divine nature of who we are, we can pull back. We don't have to follow the grain. We don't have to go with the grain. We don't have to follow someone else's path. We can choose our own path from that place of groundedness, from that place of stability. So that's a lot of this train of thought, these thoughts I'm sharing with you now have evolved over many years of being homeschooled, of my parents who I was so blessed to have telling me these things as I was growing up, inviting me to not just be spoon-fed someone else's truth, but to find my own truth, to push back on things from the world, to question everything. My mother has said that my whole life. Question everything. Question every single thing and ask why. And you'll find your answer. You'll find your answer. No one needs to tell you what to do. No one needs to tell you what you should be doing with your life if you truly ground, center, land within yourself. And yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to help you still your mind in today's world of noise, absolutely. But if you can do that, if you can ground within yourself and tap into what is within you already, I believe you already have your perfect spirit guide who will lead you and guide you on the path you should be on, your perfect unfolding. So I know this was a lot. This was a lot. But I wanted to answer that question because as soon as I saw it, I started thinking. And it's kept me thinking for days and days about, I should really sit down with you guys and we should talk about this, because I think it's important and I think it's a fun topic. It has to do with self-discovery and self-exploration and manifesting your true self. I think I'm done. I think that's it for me. Tell me below what you think. Tell me about your unfolding. I love you so much. I send you all my love and light and every blessing to you as you continue on this path of awakening and finding your truth. If you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, it always means a lot to me and supports me in so many ways when you simply click subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video. If you feel drawn or compelled to support somehow, you can check out my books. I'm an author and I have a bunch of books out. I'm getting ready to publish the last book in my series, which I'm very excited about. Books that are all about awakening. They're fictional, but they're about awakening. That's a theme in the books and I love it. You can check them out below. You can check out my Patreon. That is also linked below too. I thank you for being here and I wish you so much joy in your journey, my friend. Namaste.